Tell me if this sounds familiar. You're an artist, designer, illustrator, photographer, and you work a dead-end job just to keep yourself fed, or something that puts food on the table. You do some creative stuff on the side just for fun, and your friends keep asking you, why aren't you selling? And then immediately they start bringing up words like Etsy, Redbubble, Fine Art America, Amazon. So you go down the rabbit hole and start to look at all the things that are available from one of these, or God, please, not all of these marketplaces at the same time. Maybe you start on Etsy, or you start on Fine Art America, or you start on Saatchi, or whatever one that you decide to use. But then you've missed or forgotten one of the most important lessons in business. Not your cattle, not your cream. If you don't own the farm, you don't get the residuals. You may think you do, but you're missing some key aspects. Now, through this channel, I've met plenty of artists who make a really decent income through these marketplaces. But trying to build your creative business on top of marketplace is like trying to build an empire on top of a rented parcel of sand. You're constantly sinking, and you're always just trying to pull your feet out in order to get some sort of momentum going, but you never can. So today I want to talk to you about all the reasons why you might want to think twice about joining a marketplace, but if you're already there, and maybe some ways that you could make the experience a little bit better for yourself. Now, I wrote about this in more graphic detail in my newsletter, The Hungry Artist, which if you wanted to get more tips like this, then you're going to want to head over there and subscribe. I share news, I share commentary, I share information pieces. I also share other artists who are doing really good work. Go check out The Hungry Artist by clicking the link in the description. So let's talk about the benefits of a creative marketplace. They do have some. There definitely is a possibility of increased visibility and exposure because they have a wider reach than you ever could by yourself. Another thing about that is that there are tastemakers, trendsetters, influencers. They come to these marketplaces and they look up like, who's new, what's happening, what's good. It's possible that there are options for you as far as getting some attention here. Another reason why people join marketplaces is because it's a very low barrier to entry. It doesn't take a technical wizard to get involved, and you are in this like ready-made platform that already kind of has a really strong user base. So all of those things are really positive. Another thing about them is that if you work within one of these platforms, then you decide later on to go start your own Shopify shop or Squarespace or whatever you decide to put a shop of your own, the experience that you have working on Etsy will help you better when you start this other shop. With that also comes experience in sales and revenue generation that you may not have had before. You start to put up a listing, you get to figure out what it is that you need to post in there, and you take some of the lessons that you've learned from some people who are more experienced than you. You learn about sales and coupons and customer retention. Maybe start there, but don't necessarily think that that's the end-all be-all, because there are some things that you're missing that you don't know you're missing until you find out, because I'm going to tell them to you right now. Now, some of the cons. These are the challenges you may want to take into consideration for yourself, for your business, to see if this is even something you want to try. One of the biggest issues with marketplaces is extremely high competition. I don't care how niche your product is. You are gonna bump your head up against other people within a relatively close niche to that, because if a customer isn't going to buy your piece, then the marketplace is gonna do their best to get that customer over to somebody else. Their ultimate goal is to get the customer to buy. They don't care who. Let's talk about pricing and profit. What typically happens is you'll go into one of these marketplaces, you'll do some research about what other people are selling, and your first instinct will be to price match what other people are doing. No, 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 no! What you don't understand about that is that everybody else has done the same thing, and it becomes a race to the bottom. There's, of course, all the fees that you might have to pay to be part of that marketplace. Etsy is a pretty low barrier to entry when it comes to that. Listings really are only 20 cents to start, but then fees get tacked onto the back end because of credit card processing and Etsy's fees and whatnot, so you will pay fees in the end. With a platform like Saatchi Art, they will take a 40% cut out of everything that you sell. So now you're taking all this into consideration, and then you're trying to find the price point of where you need to be with your work to not only like be competitive with whoever else is on that platform, but also make some money that it's like a worthwhile effort for you. And you might say to yourself like, oh, okay, well, I'll just price a little bit higher than everybody else. I'll price myself accordingly. The problem is that the people, the customers on the marketplace may be already programmed to expect the price lower because they shop there often and they know what other people are selling for. They see your piece next to somebody else's piece, they're all basically the same as far as imagery and size and scope and topic. They might just be like, well, this guy's more expensive than this one, so I'm going over here. Now, something that a lot of artists like you might be concerned about is artistic integrity. I want to be able to make the things that I want to make and sell the things that I want to make. I don't want to have to do what somebody else thinks I should do with my art. The thing about marketplaces is that sometimes they have an identity. Sometimes they have a personality. The customers have an identity and a personality, and they think that you should fit into that space. And you'll go in there with your identity and you won't fit in, and then you'll be like, why am I not making any sales? And this will be the critical point where you might make a decision, well, this marketplace isn't right for me, or you'll do something bad. Like say, maybe I'll change my art. Don't do that. Sometimes it can be difficult to strike a balance somewhere between what you want to create and what the market will bear. One way or another, it's either going to not make you happy because you're not making the stuff you want, or you were making the stuff you want and you're not selling. Another major thing you have to worry about is terms of service and policies that go with the marketplace. I had a friend who had an Etsy shop who got their shop shut down because they didn't follow the guidelines. I've also heard other people have their shop shut down because of trolls and haters from competitors who went over and kind of red flagged all of the stuff on their shop. That doesn't happen on your own website. And customer service, forget about it. Saatchi actually has really good customer service, but Etsy, no way. And Redbubble, forget it. The number one pitfall to being on a marketplace, in my personal opinion, is that you don't have direct communication with your customers. Yes, Etsy has a communication tool. You can have an interaction with somebody in that way. But most times when people are using that, it's because they're coming to you with a complaint about whatever they bought, or they're coming to you with an inane question about your products, even though everything you've talked about in the products is already there. It's not meant to, maintain communication with your customers in a way that's meaningful. And most important, if you decided to leave that platform, you couldn't take those people with you. You can't grab their email addresses and then insert them into whatever email program that you have so that you can reach out to them again. So now some final considerations for your consideration. Start off by asking yourself about your personal goals. Like, what is you actually want to achieve? Because if the marketplace isn't going to allow you that opportunity, then, maybe it's something you need to consider. You also need to be asking yourself, where are your customers going to be? What audience are you trying to hit? And are they going to be on that particular marketplace? If that customer isn't there, then you're probably not going to find much success. A perfect example would be trying to sell high-level, high art or fine art on Etsy. You're not likely going to find your customers there. You might find them on Fine Art America, maybe. You might find them on Saatchi, maybe. But you're probably not going to find them over on Etsy because it's just not their customer base. Does the marketplace align with your personal style? Maybe it doesn't have to exactly, but if it's a complete, left field situation, then you're probably, again, not going to find much success there. How well does this particular platform cater to your specific needs? And you're not going to get all of your questions answered. You're not going to get all of your check marks checked, your bells dinged, your whistles whistled. I don't even know if that's a thing, but you're not going to get it all. You just have to figure out how much of what you actually need is checked by the marketplace. If your check marks aren't there, your whistles aren't whistled, then find a different marketplace. And finally, costs. What is everything going to cost you, and is it worth your while? If there's not a constant stream of customers coming in to help you pay for all those fees, then maybe you need to go someplace else. Okay, so you've taken into consideration everything I just said, and you're still gung-ho. Let's go! Come on! Ah! These are some things that I would do in that particular situation. If I said to myself, I'm going to go over here to Saatchi Art. I'm already there, but I'm going to be hitting it a little bit harder. If I'm going over there to do this thing, these are the things that I would do, and the things that I've already done that you should do too. Numero uno. This is like the third number one in this particular video, but still, number one, start an email list and do that today. Even if you haven't done anything else, go over to Substack and start an account right now, because having one is always better than not having one. I could finish the video on that point. Don't worry about what you're going to share on it just yet. Just go start something so that you have some place to send people to. Which leads me to number 2, which is make a landing page so that people have somewhere to go to sign up for your email list so that they can get involved in whatever future communications you decide to make. You can have a custom URL if you want. You don't necessarily have to. You don't have to do that with Substack, but it's kind of cooler when you do have a custom URL because that way it fits nicely into those little boxes that tell you what your website is on your social media page. Once you have that custom URL, you put it everywhere because you want people to go there first. It seems maybe counterintuitive that if you have a marketplace account on Etsy or Saatchi or Redbubble or wherever, that you would send them to your shop, but you would be wrong. What you want to do is be able to drag them over to your email list so that you can then tell them about the stuff that you have for sale. If you are selling physical goods like merch or art or whatever, get postcards, get business cards, get stickers, it doesn't matter. Get something printed that has all of this information on it, especially the link to your email list, and drop that in with the package when you send it off so that you're encouraging people, hopefully, to come back to you and sign up for that list. Number 5, once you've finally gotten the hang of everything you're doing, start sending out a message. You can do like once a month. Tell people about what it is you have in your shop, maybe something that you've experienced, some new tools that you shared, maybe a process that you wanted to share with them, something about you that's a little bit more interesting than, hey, here's my stuff. Hey, here's my stuff. Hey, here's my stuff. I know plenty of people that have email lists that's all they do, and they don't like sending out emails because they don't get much response because that's all they do. If you start to talk about who you are as an individual, the people that are reading will finally start to feel like, oh, this is actually a human that I want to participate with, that I want to support. Number 6, follow the best practices of the people that are doing well on that particular marketplace. I know this seems like a no-brainer. Go seek out the individuals who are doing well. And I'm not talking about just the gurus on YouTube who say they're doing well, who are making a bunch of money, who say, hey, I've made $45,000 this month. What they didn't tell you is they spent $47,000 that month in advertising. Find the people that are doing well that also kind of have a similar kind of vibe as you, and then go follow their example. Numero 7. Remember that the marketplace is not your home. It's just a place where you store your stuff until you build your home eventually. Where your stuff is being sold is less important than who it is that you're selling to. Just like any brand that you love, they don't tell you what stores they go to. They're not going to put a link to Nordstrom or Macy's or Bloomingdale's. They point you to their website, which may or may not even have a shop. They know that if you're a big enough fan, you'll go to Macy's, you'll go to Nordstrom to try and find their product. That's you. Who cares if it's on Fine Art America or on Saatchi or on Etsy? Your true fans and customers will find you wherever you are, mostly because you're communicating to them through the email list that you happen to send on a regular basis to them so that you can kind of like make sure that they're good fans and followers, right? Finally, and obviously this is the point I keep trying to hit home.
1-0 right here. See what I mean? That is high, that is deep.
It's important that you do your best to keep your fans, your followers, your customers, your collectors in your pocket. Keep them within the fold of your universe. Eventually, you may want to leave that marketplace. And if you leave that marketplace, you want to have a home for all those people to be at where you probably already established because you already signed up for your email list. So wrapping this up, yeah, marketplaces could be the best thing in the world for you, or they could be the worst. If you feel a marketplace is good for you, then you should go all in. But just make sure that you are establishing yourself somewhere else, just in case. You need to have that other backup plan ready to go at any moment. I've talked a lot about email lists and email marketing, whatever, and email marketing can be a bit tricky. It's something you're going to want to dig into deeper, which you can find on this video right here. And in the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you go down to the comments and let me know. And then while you're down there, hit that like button because, that's what cool people do, right? Thanks very much, guys. I've been Dave. You've been awesome. See you next time.